A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you're doing good. Today is 1st July 2020. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Thomas Jefferson. One man with courage is a majority. And he is absolutely right as well. Courage is one of the most basic, one of the most important thing, and without courage we cannot do anything. So think about it. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers both the pre and mains examination, and the good news is that till 10th July, EMI option is also available. To find out more about it, do check out our mobile application. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students, not just the lecture link, but also you can share the PDF. And one more thing that I would like to tell you guys is that, with PDF, make sure that once you go through the lecture, take out 10-15 minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes max, and go through the PDF as well. Read the PDF and to go through some important points. It's very important. And of course, if you believe that this lecture was up to the mark, and if you like today's lecture, then you can express it by hitting the like button, and you can support our overall efforts by subscribing our YouTube channel. Dear friends, today we have some important articles from various different important sources. We have one editorial from a newspaper called The Statesman. Then we have two articles from Hindustan Times. We have one article from the Hindu newspaper. It's about SARC. And then we have two editorials. It's about COVID-19 and Unlock 2.0. And then we are going to go through some important news items. So I would like to start today's discussion with this article from The Statesman. It's about Butchery in Karachi. Now, first of all, I must clarify this thing that it is very sad, right? This is a very bad news as well. Very sad and bad news that people are dying in various different parts of this world, including Pakistan, due to terrorist attacks, right? It's very sad. This terrorism and humanism, right? This whole philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family, is totally opposite to this terrorist ideology. Terrorists, what they are doing is they are using this religious ideology, and they are using religion, and they are brainwashing people, and they are, in the name of religion, they are killing human beings. So this is, against every one of us. It doesn't matter if you are Pakistani, if you are Indian, if you are, Sri Lankan or American, right? Terrorist attack anywhere on this planet is attack on human beings, isn't it? It's on humanity. So that's a very sad thing. Having said that, it is also true that Pakistan has been playing with terrorism. Pakistan has been using terrorism as a tool to create injuries on our country, India. I'm not saying people of Pakistan. What I'm saying is Pakistan's system, right? There are so many people in Pakistan. They have nothing to do with terrorism. They have nothing to do with politics, but they are the victim of this sort of terrorist attack. I'm sure we all are on one page, right? So far, so good. Okay, so terror attack by Balochistan Liberation Army. Now, as far as I know, right, investigation is still going on, but most of the reports are pointing their fingers towards Balochistan Liberation Army, that it is this BLA that has conducted this terror attack in Karachi on Pakistan's stock exchange, PSX, Pakistan Stock Exchange, that is in Karachi. Karachi is a very wealthy city, just like Mumbai is a financial hub or financial capital of our country. In the same way, Karachi is a financial hub or financial capital of Pakistan. And this attack is not just on Pakistan's stock exchange, it's also an attack on Pakistan Economic Nerve Center. Pakistan is already going through some very challenging economic situation, and on top this sort of attacks will hit Pakistan's economy even more badly. Now, just like every terror attack in Pakistan, right? Even if they have this clashes between two terrorist attacks and clashes between their army and terrorist attack on many terrorist organizations, they go rogue when they don't follow ISIS and when they don't follow their military and when they have this what do we say, clashes with their army, then this terrorist attacks are also then as well the blame is pointed towards India. And this time as well, what they are saying is that this attack is not possible without help from some other agencies, and they are pointing fingers towards our research and analysis wing. And this is not the first time that BLA has executed this sort of attacks. Back in 2018, they have attacked the Chinese consulate in Karachi. BLA is getting stronger and stronger. It is able to execute attacks in rugged terrains as well as Pakistan's commercial hub. Pakistan's foreign minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said that he has blamed India. He has clearly said that India was involved in this attack, and this is very disturbing. The reason is it's not just that that they are blaming our country. They have been blaming our country for a very long period of time. They blame our army, they blame our government, they blame our people. This is their part of agenda, and they do these things to distract their people, to distract people's attention. They want to draw their attention from this failure of Pakistan's setup. They want to draw it to. They want to blame. When you blame someone, when you create that he is the person, or this is the setup that has created, or they have done this attack, and they are the ones who have backed this attack. So what will happen is, you will, media and everyone will talk about that particular country. In this case, India. So no one will focus on Pakistan's failure in gathering intelligence, right? Why Pakistan was not able to gather intelligence about this BLA, right? Why you are using India as a punching bag all the time. You keep on, blaming India for everything that is wrong in Pakistan. They say that India is one of the main reasons why Pakistan has not been, it's not in good shape at present as far as economy and other things are concerned. So they have been using this tactic for a very long period of time. But I think the youngsters and the educated class of Pakistan, they know this thing very well, that their government keeps on blaming everything or their failures on India. So I don't think so this will last that long. And this also indicates that when your most important city, this buildings, back in 2018, this Chinese consulate was attacked. So this building was also protected. They have the security guards and everything. Pakistan Stock Exchange, they have security guards and everything. And then as well, if these terrorists are able to execute or they are able to conduct these attacks, that means your country is very vulnerable. Simple as that. Moving on to a very interesting, very important discussion, imposing costs on China. This one is from Hindustan Times. I find some interesting points in it, and I would like to share these points with you guys. Now, I'm sure many of us are aware about this fact that 59 Chinese apps are banned in our country. There are so many editorials. Unfortunately, articles and some analysts are saying that this is not going to do anything. I don't agree with those people. I strongly believe that this is a very good signal sent by India to China. India has also restricted telecom hardware and mobile handsets. So on software side, on hardware side, we are adding restrictions on Chinese products. And it's not just about digital things, right? As far as other products are concerned, 100% checkup is being done at airports and seaports. So this is creating more troubles for China. So we are doing this thing. Now, let me introduce all of you to China's big plan, and this is very important for you. I'm not sure whether you'd be able to read it in any newspaper or not, but this is very important. I think I was talking about this thing few days ago with you guys in daily financial news analysis. Anyway, all of us should be aware about this thing, that China's big game or big aim as well as game is to become a digital superpower of the world. Remember, I'm not just talking about normal superpower. I'm talking about China's game as well as aim. to become a digital superpower. So with its Belt and Road Initiative, or we also BRI is also known as One Belt One Road Initiative. So this big plan that they have added this digital Silk Route thing in it as well. So I hope these points are clear to you. So I'm just going to clear the screen, and I want to add some more points here, right? So what China is trying to achieve under this DSR, that is Digital Silk Route with Belt and Road Initiative, it wants to sell its software plus hardware. So as far as your products are concerned, your mobile phones, your computers, and not just computers, this information and communication technological devices, your wires, your optical fibers, and then softwares that are running those fibers and your whole system, everything made in China, everything supplied by China. And this is a big problem, because just imagine in future if we have this sort of standoff, and China, if everything we have purchased from, if our whole 5G platform is running on Chinese platform, then just imagine Chinese government ordering UAE that stop this service, this 5G service, this choke this 5G service of India. And if they do it just in few minutes or in a day's time, they can destroy our economy. They can create a huge amount of damage to our economy. The whole world is aware about this thing, that in today's world and in future, right, this data streams as well as digital technologies are a new currency of global power. We have talked about this thing earlier on as well, isn't it? That most of the nations, they are quite positive. They are aware about the strength of digital economy, right? The future economic growth is directly related with your digital economy. And a nation that is having strong electronic as well as digital backbone, that nation will define, that nation will influence rules and regulations and standards associated with digital setup. In this nation that is far ahead in this rules and regulations, a nation that has designed rules and regulations or has played a very important role in designing rules and regulations, is going to have enormous advantage and is going to make more money. And it's not just about money, it's also about security as well. They will control your security too. You will always be vulnerable if you have countries like China having control over all these things. So data is new oil now. It's a new material. It's a new raw material, as we all know. I would like to quickly share with you guys one example of Cambridge Analytica. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about Facebook and Cambridge Analytica whole issue. Videos are available on our channel. You can go through it. But basically, Cambridge Analytica is a company that collected data of Indian users as well from Facebook. And what they do is, they will collect your data, your age, the things that you like, the things that you dislike, the things that you have scanned, the things that you have just skipped, the things that you, the things that your friends are wearing, the brands that your friends endorse or they are wearing, the brands that you prefer, everything. They collect this data, they process it through some softwares, they have these algorithms and things, and then they will make your profile. They will know whether you like red t-shirts or blue t-shirts. They will know whether you like digital wristwatches or analog wristwatches. They will know whether you are Apple guy or an Android guy or a girl. So once they have this information, they will create advertisement and marketing tactics in such a way that as far as your digital life is concerned, you will find this sort of things around you. When you surf, when you are on your friend's Facebook, or when you are surfing something online, even if you're using some free applications, they have this tie-up with marketing companies, and they will try to sell all these products to you. So what they're doing here is they are using your data to create advertisements, and they are selling they are using your data to sell more products to you. And this is something that you and I are not aware about also. One of the main reasons that India has, said as far as banning this 59 Chinese apps are concerned, Indian government has said that Indian users' data was used without authorization. They used to collect this data and they used to process it and they were using it for their benefit. China long ago drove out most foreign apps and software. I'm sure you have heard about this thing that in China you cannot use Facebook, and so they have been doing this thing for a very long period of time, and we were using their products. Western countries, they have started banning Chinese products, and this is a big blow for Chinese companies. This Indian government banning 59 apps. So earlier on, Chinese products were not good. They were considered bad quality, and they were hacking things and all those stuff. They were bugging telephone devices and things. But now their apps and their software as well are they are mischievous. So this is going to impact China's image as a country that is producing things, but it's very what do we say? The right word is very fishy. Very, I would say, a country that you cannot trust. E-commerce and digital payment restrictions will take place. Data movement regulations will be implemented in China, and Huawei's dream to penetrate in Indian market and create 5G telecom equipment setup service as well as equipment setup. This will not be fulfilled. Of course, India has warned China that if you don't sort out things on border, then we are going to use multiple points of pressure. This is not something that we have said or we have did this thing. With our actions, we are signaling China that if you don't behave properly, right, then we will press multiple points of pressure. This is also a fact and reality that so many Chinese firms, they have invested in Indian startups, and startups are important for our economy, no doubt. And I'm not saying that banning things or banning products from China is not a good idea. It is a good idea, right? But it is going to hurt us as well a little bit. So what we need is smart as well as an action that is smart yet powerful. We need smartness as well as strength, to be precise. And we are going to fill this pinch, but we should be ready to bear this pain that we are going to get from China. Then I would like to continue the discussion on China and India, and I would like to take you through this important article. This article is by Gautam Bambable. Now, Gautam sir he has played a role as a former Indian ambassador to China. He was Indian ambassador to Pakistan as well as Bhutan too. And he is writing this article. And, yesterday we were talking about few points. I want you guys to match these few points with the things that we have discussed earlier and see the quality. Compare our past discussions with today's this article of Hindustan Times, and you will realize that the things that we are discussing on regular basis is of high value. I'm not trying to pick up myself or present myself in front of you like I am super knowledgeable. Not at all. 1%, 2%, these are means I know about I cannot claim that I know 98% of things. I know 1-2% things, and whatever I know I share it with you guys, right? Because I strongly believe that when we say that I know 99, 98, 90% plus, then there is no room for growth. When I say that I know 1%, 2%, then I strongly believe in it as well, that there are so many things that I need to learn on a regular basis, and this is something like this is fuel for my curiosity. Anyway, as we know that from our yesterday's and day before yesterday's discussion, that the behavior of a PLA in 2020 is very different and very new, very radical from what it used to be back in 2013, 14 and 2017. Several divisions of PLA have been deployed here. They have deployed armory and artillery, and Indian Army has also made a matching build-up in the area. What China wants to do is China wants to have no bilateral consultation with India. They want to, unilaterally define and determine line of actual control. And Indian army is over there. Indian army is not going to take any nonsense from Chinese army. Right? If they think that they can bully us, if they think that they can, push us and they can throw their weight around us, that's not going to happen. We have proved this thing from our action. Indian army has proved this thing from its action that if you come here, then you are going to get some. PLA has violated all the principles of past 25, 27 years. Since 1993, we had so many, agreements. And they have just rejected all these agreements, and they are, misbehaving with us. And this is not just limited to India and China. Let me tell you very clearly that the whole world is watching China. So many countries are not going to use their mobile applications. So many countries are going to stop buying things from China, including India. So many countries will not trust Chinese agreements because they will say that you had one agreement with India back in 1993, and since 1993 you had multiple agreements about LSC with India, and all of a sudden you have violated all the principles. So how can we trust you? This is going to be a big and a very difficult question. So trust is something, again, that China is losing here. What China is trying to signal is that China is number one in Asia. China wants to signal this thing out that 21st century is not an Asian century but a Chinese century. And they have done a very big mistake by engaging with India. That's what we can say. And this is the main reason why Mr. Bambavle is saying that it can no longer be business as usual. We cannot let the rest of India-China relationship continue as normal. We have to create troubles for China. We have to press multiple pressure points. And I personally believe that this is a very good move by Indian government. On one side, our army has given a befitting reply to China. And to back that befitting reply, Indian government has banned Chinese apps. Indian government has started checking and unboxing things that are coming from China. Indian government is not going to buy things from China, like this telecommunication things and so many non-essential items and things like that. So what Indian government is doing now is Indian government is sending the signal to army that what you have done is right. We are with you and you are not alone. If you will attack China, if you are handling China from defense perspective, then we are going to attack China from economical and other perspective. How is that? So this is a unity, right? A united India, you can say. And now what we can do is we can be friends with, we are already friends with, but we can improve this relationship with the United States, Japan, France, South Korea and Indonesia. We can expand relationship with Taiwan. And, this whole action by Indian Army and Indian government is a strong indication that New Delhi is strong. Our mindset is strong. We are not afraid of you. We are not going to, if you think that you can bully us, then that's the biggest mistake of your life, right? We are not that. Of course, we are going to feel a little bit of pain as well. Let me tell you very clearly, all of us, right? And this is the right time. Yesterday as well, I told you that if you want to support, this is the right time. Support our country, support our nation, support our soldiers. And one more thing, we are going to feel a little bit of pain. If we are not going to buy things from China, then we are going to buy things from other countries or maybe from our domestic products. Then it's going to be a little bit costly, but we should go for it. Our firms, they may not earn that much profit. It's okay. Our traders will not make that much revenue, but it's okay. It's about our country, isn't it? Moving on to next item, dear friends, it's about creating more pressures on China. So this article is suggesting that SAARC is a group that we can revitalize. India can do this thing. You have 8 countries on your screen. All 8 countries are part of this SAARC, as well as they are part of this geographical area called South Asia. The full form of SAARC is South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. Sad thing about SAARC is that it is one of the least integrated region in the world. Can you believe that total South Asian trade with the world, if it is 100 rupees, let's say, right, I'm talking about all these countries dealing with other countries, then intra-regional, that countries buying things and purchasing things from each other, selling and purchasing things from each other, is just 5% of their global trade. I hope things are clear to you. So basically, South Asia is one of the least integrated region in the world. Intra-regional trade is at 5% of total South Asian trade compared to ASEAN, right? ASEAN nations, their intra-trade, or the trade within ASEAN group is, out of their total global trading, is 25%. So they sell more things to each other than this SAARC nations. So one of the least integrated region in the world, India and Pakistan are part of this group. So naturally, you're going to see so many problems, isn't it? And Pakistan is a troublemaker. Pakistan attacked us multiple times, and this is one of the main reasons that India, this whole SAARC is at present in a sort of hibernation mode. Now we find that India and Pakistan and China are all weather friends. China is also trying to attract Nepal towards it. Recently, it tried to woo Bangladesh by offering tariff exemption for 97% of Bangladeshi products. It has invested heavily in Sri Lanka as well. Brookings India report says that despite geographical proximity to India, most South Asian nations are dependent on China for imports. Now, if we say that what are the things that we can do to improve relationship with or to revitalize this SAARC region, then first thing is that we have to improve relationship with Pakistan. But this is going to be a big challenge politically. People of India are not going to be happy with this thing. Then Bangladesh, right, we have this good friend. Bangladesh is a very good friend of our country, but this whole Bangladeshi migrant issue is a hot topic as far as politics is concerned. India has recently announced Atmanirbhar, so we need more clarity on this thing. Are we, under this Atmanirbhar, are we sending this signal out that we are not going to buy things from neighboring countries as well? So these are a few challenges that we need to sort out. According to World Bank, trade in South Asia stands at 23 billion of an estimated value of 67 billion. Slash of tariff and non-tariff barriers is something that we need. And as far as I gave you example of ASEAN intra-trade, right? Intra-ASEAN investment is 19%. We don't find anything like that, or it's just very mere here in SAARC. So we need to work on this front as well. If we do this thing, then chances are that these countries will become good friends of our country, and we would be able to create a distance between them and China. Moving on to next item, it's about lockdown 2.0. Beg your pardon, it's about Unlock 2.0 that will last till 31st July. Prohibition on mass gatherings is there, and the result of various different states is basically on the capacity of their individual capacity of testing, tracing, quarantining, as well as treating sicker patients. India's current case total is nearly 5 lakh or half a million. Out of that, 3,47,326 people have recovered. 17,403 have died. That is very sad. And states under this Unlock 2.0 are empowered. They can impose restrictions if they feel that is necessary. There are so many states, they have imposed restrictions. But expert committee of epidemiologists as well as lessons from other countries indicate that awareness is the key, right? Instead of lockdown, what we need to do is we need to test more people, trace more people, isolate positive cases, and make sure that they use masks. Prime Minister Modi, yesterday he addressed our nation, and he also said that we have to be very cautious against carelessness. Carelessness is very dangerous, right? We have to wear mask and maintain social distancing. Moving on to news items, Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana has been extended for 5 more months, so it will last till end of November. It will provide 80 crore Indians with free food grain. One person will get 5 kilo wheat or rice with 1 kilo pulse or chana will be given to individuals. So 90,000 crore rupees will be required. 80 crore people will be covered. Prime Minister said that 31,000 crore rupees have been dispersed to 20 crore Jan Dhan accounts, 18,000 crore rupees transferred to 9 crore farmers, and 50,000 crore rupees has been used for Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. He talked about COVID-19 death rate case. He talked about economic activities and other things. Prime Minister, now living Prime Minister. Now we are talking about other news items. New guideline for Unlock 2.0 issued. As we all know, Odisha has announced a complete lockdown in 10 districts. Ladakh restrictions are lifted. Char Dham Yatra begins today in Uttarakhand with restrictions, right? No pilgrims from outside Uttarakhand will be allowed. And today is National Doctors' Day. 1st July is celebrated from 1991. The first Doctors' Day was celebrated 1991, and this day is celebrated after Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.